Hey y'all, Thriving Thursdays. We are on here. Get my little stuff together real quick. DJ, I ain't forget about you. You lucky Governor Hogan told me to stay in the house because I'd have been right down there on you. Man, today was a busy day, y'all. We had fun though. Had a whole lot of fun. They had me cracking up on Miss Mo session, man. Cracking all the way up. Hey, Mr. Kirk. Hey, Ken. Robin Thursday. Man. Hey, Ma. So our our topic today is going to be youth entrepreneurship. Let me put that in the comments just in case other people decide to drop in. Y'all know this is one of my favorite topics. Like I love everything youth entrepreneurship. I love everything youth leadership, like all that type of stuff. Like that's definitely my favorite stuff to talk about. So that's our topic, youth entrepreneurship. And then also, if y'all saw my post, Miss Simone, matter of fact, let me make sure I send her the link. Miss Simone has a very special and important announcement to make too. So she gonna be hopping on like closer to the end or so to give her announcement. That way y'all can hear it right from the horse's mouth. Ain't gonna be no he say she say nothing. Y'all heard it right from the horse's mouth. All right. All right, man. All right, so we got that straight. All right, so youth entrepreneurship, definitely a hot topic amongst young people, not just in the day and age of Rona, but even more so because of Rona, in terms of young people just like looking for a way to make money, looking for a way to do something productive, all that good stuff. So we're going to be just kind of going through like the basics. And I'm gonna be answering like some of the questions that I get also often from young people. And if you guys have any questions, definitely let me know what questions you have and we'll address those questions. But I wrote down just a couple of notes on some of the things that I wanted to share with you guys today, just so that you kind of understand the direction and what we want to. So, so first we're going to talk about like the basic, just fundamental things that you need in order to start a business. We're going to go through the components of a business plan. I actually have one of my favorite templates that I always send out to people when they tell me that they want to start a business. I want to show you guys what that template looks like. And if you want access to that, certainly I can share that with you. We're going to talk a little bit about too, like deciding whether or not you should register your business. Like that's a really hot topic, especially among young people when they are starting these businesses to decide, okay, do I want to register my business? And if I do register my business, like, should I register as an LLC or a sole proprietorship? So we're going to answer like some of those questions and help make sense of the differences between your options. And then, just kind of narrow down on whether or not that's the route you should go. And then we're going to talk about the SBA, using the SBA as a resource. And the SBA is just the Small Business Administration. And that's basically like That's like the group that small businesses kind of go through for everything, like from when you're starting your business to when you are in your business, in terms of helping your business grow, and just resources and things of that nature. So we want to go through that. All right. So first things first, right? In terms of like, what do you need foundational wise? All right. A lot of people say, oh, you need some money. I can't start a business unless I have money. Some people might say, oh, you need customers. You need people who are ready to buy. I can't start a business unless I have people who are ready to buy. And some people say, you can't start a business unless you got a product to offer. Can't start a business unless you got a product to offer. The cool thing is none of those things are actually the wrong thing. But what I tell people is that the first thing that you need is you need a disciplined mindset. Like before you can go any further, like do not press go, do not collect your $200, do not do anything until you've determined whether or not your mindset is in the right place for you to even start a business. Because what happens is people will go through this thing where you start this business, and then because things aren't working out the way that you expect for them to work out, or things aren't going the way that you want them to go, then now no more business, bye-bye business. It's just all done. And then now you have wasted everybody's time, you've wasted your time, and just not a good look for anybody. So the first thing that I say is you definitely got to make sure that you have a disciplined mindset and that your attitude is in the right place in terms of starting a business. And Stanka, I'm glad you said that, because that is like the number two. After you determine that you got the mindset and that you got the discipline, and I'm not going to go too much into that, because hopefully most people who are watching this now or who will watch the replay already, hopefully you already kind of have that part established. But Stanka, I'm so glad that you said that why, because that why absolutely critical. If you don't have a why, starting a business is not for you. Entrepreneurship is not for you. And if the best thing you got is money, if that's your why, just because you want to make a couple of dollars, don't start that business. Do not press go. Go and find yourself a job where you can work as many hours as you want in order to get as much money as you want. A business is not for you if your why revolves around just making a dollar, getting money. No, you got to be bigger than that. What most people in business find out is that people don't necessarily buy your product or service first. They buy you first. They buy your why first. They buy that vision first. And then once they bought into that vision, then that's where we can have a conversation about whatever product or service you're offering. And just for the record, when we say product or service, a product is something tangible that you have, that you're selling, and the service is something that's not necessarily tangible, but like a service, like you are teaching or something like that. So absolutely, Stinker, you already on the money, man. You already know, gotta have a purpose, gotta have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose, you don't have anything. All right, so after we get that out the way, saying once I also have the mindset, don't start a business if your mind not right. Gotta have faith, it's reality. Absolutely. So Mar, you must have joined a few minutes late after I already talked about that, but absolutely, you are so on point. We got that part out the way. So we got our mindset out the way, we got our discipline out the way, we got our why out the way. Now, what do we do now that we have still decided, okay, we want to move forward with this business? We want to start with a business plan. And I'm going to show you guys this really cool template of a business plan, because it basically walks you through like everything that you should do in order to get this business started, to get it off the ground. Now, a lot of people say, Ms. Joni, do I really need a business plan to start a business? The short answer to that is no. You don't necessarily need a business plan to start a business, but it is a good idea to have a business plan before you start your business. And that's because you want to be able to get it all out of your head. Remember how earlier in the week we were having that conversation. I think we were talking with Miss Simone, and we were talking about how your mind is for having ideas, not holding ideas. And if you're the type of person, if you're about to start something as big as a business and you're about to hold all that inside your head and you're never going to be able to get it out, you're already setting your business up for failure from day one. Now, if your business is just going to be a little small thing where all you're doing is selling Oreos out your backpack, okay, you might not need a business plan for that. But if this is a business that you plan on really nurturing and really growing and really being something sustainable, you absolutely want to have a business plan. And don't look at your business plan as just this thing that you just do one time. Oh, let me just write out my business plan, get it over with, then I'm done with it. No, look at your business plan as a living, breathing document that helps you navigate your business. Even if nobody else ever lays eyes on your business plan should help you in determining the journey that your business will take. Now, I'll be upfront and honest with you. Most people, right, the business plan don't become extremely critical until you start talking about money, like getting money, like loans and credit and stuff like that from the bank. So if you were to go into a bank right now and potentially, let's just say, get something small, like a $5,000 business loan for your business in order to buy like basic equipment and stuff like that, they are going to want to see that business plan. They're not going to want to necessarily rip it apart, but they want to see that you got a plan in place and that you at least believe in that plan and that that plan makes sense. And Stinker, absolutely, you are right on point. It's also critical for partnerships as well. When you are getting into a serious partnership, especially a partnership that's going to involve some type of money, your partner's going to want to see that plan. Again, they're going to want to make sure that you have some type of plan and that you have some type of roadmap that's going to guide that business. And it's not to say that it has to be perfect. Nobody's looking for perfection here. People were just trying to look to see, to make sure that you have a plan in place. And the plan shouldn't necessarily be a stagnant plan, something that just kind of stays the same, but you want it to be something that can evolve with changes, something that you are constantly updating, and something that you're comfortable with saying, oh, you know what? Well, this situation changed, so now I got to move differently in my marketing area. Oh, this situation changed, so now in terms of management, I got to rearrange some things there. That is basically how you should look at this business plan. So let's get into what this business plan looks like. I'm gonna show you one of the templates. Let me share my screen real quick. Let me see. Let me get to your question, Ma. You said, so if you have a business, how much dilution and share ownership of my company should I give up to investors in my business? That's a great question, Ma. I'm going to say that it depends. It depends on your business type. And it really kind of depends on too, like your revenue and how much you need up front versus how much you're going to be willing to pay back. So for the most part, if you're thinking about starting a business now, like at this age, depending on what the business is, if you have just a regular adult investor, 9 times out of 10, that investor is not going to ask for ownership of your company. Now, depending on how big it might get, though, if you're talking about something that could potentially be a national or global brand, absolutely. And you two should have a serious discussion on what makes sense in terms of a number. There are some people who ownership is something small, like 2% or 3%. And there are some people who ownership is big. You're talking like 30 or 40%. I know that's one thing that I learned about Mike Bloomberg through reading his book, was that when he was starting his company, Merrill Lynch was like one of his first big clients. And in order to ensure the success of his company, he actually sold something like 30 or 40% to Merrill Lynch. So they own 30 or 40% of his company, which worked out to be a tremendous thing, because, and a very successful thing and a smart thing to do, because now he's like the sixth richest person in the world. So I really think it just all depends, on the type of business, and also the investor. And again, thinking about how much do you really need up front versus how much you want to be willing to pay back. So can't say once that money gets up there, though, that 2-3% can be a lot. Absolutely. It can be a lot in terms of the actual dollar amount, the revenue amount. But if you're talking about percentage of ownership, regardless of what the dollar amount is, man, if I got 95% of a $3 billion business, who cares? Take your pennies. You can have it. So, but you just got to be smart about it. All right, so let me share my screen, show y'all this business plan. All right. Let's see. All right, I got the screen share on. All right. Let me know if y'all can see that. Let me see. Get my phone up here so I can see the comments. Let me see. All right, bet. Business plan template is up there. All right. Really used to my touchscreen laptop. Working on this other laptop with no touchscreen is the absolute ghetto. All right, here we go. Business plan template. So this part right here, this is just for regular information for you to have. The most important thing right here is like your actual company's name, like picking what your company name is going to be. But other than that, that's just regular stuff. All right. Now here's the parts of the business plan. Ace Thinker, I see you still got your business plan. That's amazing. Now we just got to use it. All right. So here's the parts of the business plan. You got the executive summary, you got your products and services, your marketing plan, your operational plan, your management team, your personal financial statement, your startup expenses, and then your financial plan. All right. So let's get into this first part right here. This is the ghetto, not working with my touchscreen. All right. So executive summary. All right. Executive summary. Think of this as like the overview. If somebody did not have time to read your 5, 6, maybe 10-page business plan, depending on how long it's going to be, Stinker, you crazy. Y'all crazy. So if somebody did not have time to read your 5 or 6 or maybe 10-page business plan, but they only had time to read 1 page, what would you want them to know? That's how you got to think of your executive summary. If somebody reads your executive summary and they do not have a solid understanding of what your business is and what your business is about, you did it wrong. If somebody reads your executive summary and they are not inspired by your why, by your mission, by the reason that you even starting this business or doing this business in the first place, you did it wrong. If somebody reads this executive summary and they don't want to know more, if they aren't interested or intrigued, you probably did it wrong. So when you're thinking about that, can I zoom in a little bit more? Yeah, let me zoom in some. All right, my bad. This is the ghetto, y'all. All right. Oh man, no. All right. Let me know if that's better. All right, y'all. Yeah, let me know if that's better, if y'all can see that a little better. If not, I can try to blow it up some more. Um, but things you should be answering, right, when it comes to your executive summary. So like, what are some of the strong points of your company and of the owners? What is the background, the knowledge, or the experience that you bring to the company? And that's especially important if your business is something that's completely outside of everything that you've been doing up until that point. And how will it find strength in the marketplace? So like, how well do you think that you're gonna fare against like competitors, people who are already doing the same thing? And the idea there is that this business won't be a new business. Like most times, it don't matter what type of business you start in, somewhere in the world, somebody already has a business that's doing exactly that. And your goal is to put your spin on it, put your sauce on it. How are you going to be different? What's going to make somebody want to come to you versus the competition? This part right here where it talks about legal form, we're going to talk about that one a little later, because really in the executive summary, you really don't have to put um, what type of business you are registered as, because technically you don't even need to be registered in order to start your business plan. So we're going to put a marker in that, and we're going to hold that and come back to that conversation so I can explain to you guys a little bit more in detail, like what those mean and when you need to really be concerned about that. As of right now, starting a business at your particular age, don't concern yourself with that right now. All right. Do your companies need a partnership? Is it better to have a personal business or have employers? What's your niche? So Ma, is it better to have a personal business or have employers? If I'm understanding the question right, basically you're saying, is it better to have a business where it's just you or to have other people working with you? It's always better to have other people working with you. You can do way more with a team and with people working with you than you ever could alone. And just using HeartSmiles as an example, because that's the example that I'm closest to. Imagine me trying to do all this stuff by myself. I could never. I could never, ever, ever. And even if I attempted to, I mean, which I did for a while, but it was nowhere near at the scale that it is now. But even if I attempted to, you know how many things would fall through the cracks and how many things would not get done? When you think about business, think about long term and think about beyond yourself, because being in business really isn't about you. It's about what you can offer to the world, how you can get other people involved, and what are you going to do that people are going to appreciate so much that they want to spend money with you. um, Cam said, what's your niche? Absolutely. You definitely want to get into what's your niche. And that speaks to how you're going to fit into whatever market it is, because the market already exists. People are already doing what you're doing. But what is your niche? What's going to make you special? All right. Let's come down to products and services. The first thing you got to determine really is whether or not you're going to offer a product, or you're going to offer a service, or you're going to offer both, or a combination of both. Whatever it is, you want to be as detailed as possible and making sure that people have some type of visual on what that is going to look like. With products, it's pretty much kind of easy, because a product, you can take a picture of a product, you can draw a product, you can do things to make that product look and feel real. Services is a little bit more challenging, because you really gotta give people a mental vision of what that service is going to look like. Now, if you have photos or pictures of you in action delivering your service, like again, using me as an example, y'all know I got a leadership consulting company. I always try to take pictures of like me in front of the room, or me engaging with a client or something like that. So that way it can help make my service come alive. So that way people can see the looks on people's faces when they're engaged in a session that I'm doing, or how people come up and basically treat me like I'm Beyonce after I'm finished talking. But it really just helps for people to see okay, the impact of that product or service and what it looks like. What does it look like in real life? Cam said, you can make more progress when more people work on it. Absolutely. And Sam, do you have to start it with the people? No, Sam, you don't. Actually, most small businesses start with 1 to 2 people. Like even when you look at a lot of the small businesses that are now like big global businesses, take Under Armour, for example. Kevin started that by himself in the garage. So there are plenty of examples where you can have a successful small business or just a business in general, and you just start with just yourself, because sometimes that's all you got. It's just yourself. And you learn really, really quickly that your friends and family don't necessarily make the best business partners. So when you don't have a trusted partner or a trusted friend to go into business with, it probably is better to just kind of start by yourself, lay the foundation, lay the groundwork, and then as you start to build, see who your business naturally attracts. We call that the law of attraction, where people are just attracted to your mission, attracted to what you're doing, and they want to be involved. Well, I said, why are companies using content marketing? What are the benefits? So they're using content marketing because everybody knows that marketing is like how 90% of the consumer base makes their purchase decisions. You are more likely to purchase something in the store if you've already seen 1,000,001 ads for it. You are more likely to spend your money on something if you've already seen content on a trusted source. And when I say a trusted source, I mean something that you go to. So like right now, you on YouTube, right? So if you see one of the ads or something that comes across our page, you're on a trusted page. So that ad that comes along, if you see something, you're more likely to remember that. Or Instagram. Instagram has a crazy algorithm. Like you could be talking to somebody on the phone about something that you need, and then next thing you know, you getting an ad for it. It's very, very, very lucrative and very effective. That's why people get paid so much money to do those type of ads, because buyers are emotional. Buyers are visual. Buyers, we make our decisions a lot of times just kind of based in the moment. So when we're getting hit with those content marketing ads, and when we see things over and over again, then we start to trust it. Even if we've never had any type of engagement with that product or anybody that's even used that product, we start to trust it once we see it and once we become a little familiar with it. So yeah, Cam, you're right. It get crazy, but they making so much money off of it, and like that's like a big deal. It's a big. People will literally spend thousands of dollars just on marketing. And when we get into, we might not even have time to get into it today, yo. I was about to say when we get deeper into marketing, I'm thinking I'm doing a full class, but one of the things that we talk about when we go deep into marketing is how much of a business's budget is actually dedicated to marketing. And sometimes you'll see that people will reserve more money on marketing than they will on materials, just because if you market right, you'll get money to be able to buy the materials before you even need it. So it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing, but yes, products and services, you want to make sure in this part that you are giving your reader a visual, and also because you're talking to yourself, you want to make sure that you understand also what you're offering, and go into detail about what that pricing structure is going to be, how much things are going to cost, what is your competitive advantage. Don't get hung up on that competitive advantage, y'all. Don't ever be the cheapest thing in town. That's rule number one when it comes to how you set your price. When you are thinking about how to set your price, this is what I advise you to do. Look at the people who are already successful in your market, whatever that market may be, right? Look at the people who are at the highest price point. Look at the people who are at the lowest price point, and tuck yourself somewhere in the middle. I don't care how good that low price point look, and I don't care how tempting it is and how many more customers you think that you're going to get with that low price. Don't do it. Because just like in business, sometimes we have to fire employees. You'll learn that sometimes you got to fire customers. And the reason why most business have to fire customers is because of that price game. And you don't want to get caught up in playing that price game, which is why it's best to just set your price nice and fair and even right up front. If your highest competitor is $100 and your lowest competitor is $25, you cool pricing yourself right at $50. And it ain't got to be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You don't want every customer coming, especially all those low point customers, those people who only want to spend $10 when they know that it's say $25, because then you're going to get into unwanted customer complaints, because those are the type of customers that complain too much. Those are the type of customers that end up sucking up all your time and energy because they want to know all these extra things and stuff that if they just took 2 seconds to look at the website. It's just a certain kind of customer that lives in that low level, cheap, I don't want to spend a penny more, that we just really don't even want to deal with. So when you think about how to price yourself, I can't stress that enough. Don't be the lowest one. And then also, a lot of studies show too, consumer reports show that when people are shopping, most times, 95% of the time, they go with the middle brand anyway. Most people don't get the most expensive or the cheapest. Most people go right in the middle anyway. So if you tucked in the middle, you in a safe spot. All right, so that's products and services. Let's go down to marketing plan. Let's see. Never set your price on your customers. Yeah, it also depends on your target audience. That's a great comment. It's about providing a quality product at a reasonable price. Yes, they be trying to lowball. They do be trying to lowball. This comment too that Cam said, it depends on your target audience. That's important too. So think about what I do. I do leadership consulting. So at first, right, when I was first out there, I thought being able to get $50 an hour was a lot. This was before I started doing my research. I'm thinking, okay, $50 an hour, okay, that's cool. I can live with that. Until I did my research and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I should not ever be charging no less than $500 an hour. Like, and that's even getting over compared to what other people in that same industry are doing. So definitely it depends on your audience too, because some people, I tell them $500, they fall out. Oh, baby, you ain't my customer. Don't even worry about it. It's plenty of other people who you might can get for a $40 session or a $50 session or something like that, baby. Don't even worry about it. But for other people, I say $500, they shaking my hand profusely, thanking me because they know that that's a deal. They not even flinching. They like, oh, can I write the whole entire check now? Like, just because they want to get that deal because they understand. So, so definitely to your point, knowing your audience and who you're talking to is key. And just like how we said earlier on the success session, if you're talking to everybody, you ain't talking to nobody. Worry about talking to your customers. Worry about talking to people who care about what you care about, and you're going to be good. All right, the marketing plan. So this one is going to be fun. You should really have fun with your marketing plan, because this is where you're going to talk all about basically how you're going to get those customers, like where are they going to come from, with social media contests you might be running, what type of ads you might run, what type of campaigns you want to do, like all that type of stuff. Essentially, how are people going to find out about you? Word of mouth is definitely the strongest, but until you build a brand that's strong enough for people to be out there just saying your name, what are you going to do in order to build that up? And this part takes time. It definitely takes time. And it's one of those things where when you are first starting out, you actively got to put yourself out there. Like, you literally got to be putting yourself out there every opportunity, every second, every minute. One of the things that worked for me when I was starting off was that I basically kind of had this rule. my rule was, because I knew that the type of business that I was offering needed me to be present. And when I say that, I mean, like, I didn't necessarily just have like a product where I could be selling products while I'm sleeping. I had to actually be out talking, using my brain, delivering a service. So my rule was, when my customers are up, I need to be up, out meeting my customers. When my customers are asleep, I need to be dropping things in their email, in their mail, and doing other things to reach them while they are asleep. And that really kind of worked for me in terms of getting name recognition and getting people to get familiar with me and who I was and what kind of service I offered. When I first started out, I was at every networking event you could possibly think of. Now you won't catch me at no networking events. And I'm not saying that I'm too, big for that, because obviously I'm still growing. It's always a factor of growing and leveling up. But just right now where I'm at, I don't necessarily need it, nor do I want it. I'm, kind of good with where I'm at, making my connections with how I make my connections now. But for you guys, especially first starting out, and until you build up your revenue, you want to be at everything that makes sense for your particular business. Introducing yourself, getting FaceTime, introducing your product or service, and then your marketing plan, talk about that type of stuff too. And not only do you want to talk about, how you're getting your message out there, you also want to be proactive and think about, okay, how do you plan to grow? Because if your revenue goal for your first month, let's just say your first month was January, your goal was to make $200, you make that $200, okay, how do you plan to turn that $200 into now $400 come February? And then in March, how are you going to bump that 400 up to 600? And what's that growth plan? What does that look like? And your marketing plan is basically going to have to hold hands with your growth plan, because those things are going to go hand in hand together. So you're going to be putting all that type of stuff in your marketing plan. All right. You're crazy. Yeah, the marketing plan is very fun. That's definitely probably one of my favorite ones to do. And then also in your marketing plan, you're going to be talking about your customers and your competition. One cool thing that I like to do with this one is, when you're thinking about your customers, create yourself a customer. And when I say create, I literally mean create. Like, get you a cardboard box, cut it out like it's a person, draw that person's eyes, their hair, everything. Think about who your ideal customer would be. And when I say ideal, that means if this person found out about your product or service, they're going to buy it every single time. This person is already buying from your competitors. So in that sense, you really got to know who that person is. So I'll give you an example. For me, right, when I was first starting out with my leadership consulting, I found out the hard way that my customer was not people in the community. Even though, and don't take this the wrong way, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just being real. Even though people in the community need what I got, they need my information, they need my connections, and it's a lot of value that I can offer, they can't afford me. And business is about revenue, y'all. Granted, we got to have our why front and center, but at the end of the day, if that why isn't making you revenue, then you just got a high price hobby, and that's not where we want to be. We actually want our business to make money for us. So with my community people, I told y'all what I charge, $500 minimum an hour, and that's me being cheap. My community people ain't paying that. What community person about to spend $500 in 1 hour just to talk to somebody? They ain't doing it. They can't do it. They got too many other real priorities. They got to put food on the table. They got to keep a roof over their head. They got kids they got to take care of and feed. So I found out the hard way. Community people, even though they love me, they can't afford me. They ain't my customer. Who's my customer? My customer, I have found, is a person that's between 30 years old and 60 years old, who's in an HR department at large, small, medium-sized organizations. My customer understands the importance of employee development and of mentorship and of leadership development of their employees. My customer understands that creating a work culture where people feel valued and where people feel a sense of belonging, they understand that that's important. My customers are like directors of different departments with 100 or more employees that report to them. My customers are customers who have already invested in some type of employee development strategy. So when I think about my customer, those were the things that I had to kind of come to terms with in terms of, who was my customer and who was really going to be able to, pay the type of price that I was paying that I was offering, understanding that that was a fair price and not try to, haggle or lowball me on that situation. So you got to figure out for your business, who's your customer? And give your customer a name if you want. Like make it real, like make it really real in terms of really finding out who that customer is. And then in terms of the competition, make sure who is leading the game in your industry. You don't necessarily want to be like them, but it ain't nothing wrong with building yourself up off of a model that already works. Like that's the smart thing to do. If somebody has already tried things and they didn't work, or they already went through some things and figured out, oh, this ain't the way to do that, this is the way to do that, why wouldn't you take that information? Absolutely, you want to take that information and be smart about it. Let's see. Y'all are crazy. Some stuff they pay for, they don't need. It's all about where their priorities lie and where they see themselves in the future. Absolutely. How we can get a year income off our business, or that's for like huge businesses. No, I still remember the first time I got what I would consider like somebody's yearly salary and just one check, one job. It was a $65,000 job. And I was kind of like in disbelief. It was maybe about like a year and a half in, something like that. Like I was grinding, I was working, and like a year and a half in, like that was like the biggest one-time check for one job that I had received. And I'm like, oh yeah, like this is real. Like you can really make what some people make in an entire year, really in one day or in 1 month, depending on how well you structure your business and how well you are able to narrow down this very important thing, which is finding your customers and having customers who appreciate what you have, want what you have, and see what you have as their priority. So something like that, I wouldn't say that it's going to happen overnight, but definitely if you put that work in and you stay with it, like it is absolutely, it can become a reality. And you're talking again to somebody who had no knowledge of the industry that I was entering in. So it can be done. And even though I didn't have, any formal knowledge, I had that determination and I had that commitment. But yeah, that's real though. All right. Time is running out, y'all. I hope we get a chance to get through all this. Let me hurry up. All right. So strategy. So that's included in the marketing plan. I feel like we kind of already touched on that. But that's where you're going to be, talking about how you're going to be promoting and advertising your stuff and all that. All right. Your operational plan. All right. So this is where you're going to get kind of down and dirty with like how you're going to run. So if you are a business that is selling a product and you got to buy different things from like different people in order to make your product, you got to talk about that here. Talk about the partners and stuff that you have in order to make things work. You're going to talk about where you're going to sell that product at, talk about employees that you may need in order to help you. And even if you are starting with just one employee just being you still want to talk about the people that you need, right? So even though it's just you right now, you are the marketing person, you are the salesperson, you are the janitor, you are manager, you are the HR person. Even though you got to start off being all those things, talk about the people that you need. So if your business is a business that's going to deal with people, you know you're going to need somebody for HR. So just say in there, okay, eventually when we start to grow, we're going to have an HR person, and that person is going to take care of all the needs of our people. If you know that sales is not necessarily your strong point and you eventually want to be at a place where you're running the business and not necessarily in the business, you're going to need salespeople that's out there helping to promote and selling your product or whatever the case may be. Talk about the salespeople that you need. So just whatever it is that you feel like you need, talk about all those different things. Anything in terms of operation, that's where you want to get into in here, and just processes and procedures and things like that. It don't got to be nothing all super long, especially if you're starting off super small, but you definitely want to at least put your mindset in the mindset of thinking about the future and what you might need. All right, let's see. Hey y'all, hey y'all. Hey Jason, hey Q. I see y'all. Playing all the roles. Yeah, you got to. Man, that's how it is when you start off small. All right. Your management team. So this piece is important as well. And this is where you want to talk about why you picked some of the people that you picked in terms of having people on your team. So let's just say that you starting off with like 2 people, right? Talk about what the roles and responsibilities of those 2 people are going to be, and what experience qualifies them to be able to do that. And if they don't have any experience that qualifies them to do that, talk about the reason why you are justifying them being in that position. And I know for me personally, like that was kind of like a mini struggle, because somebody like me, like I never even walked across the high school stage. I didn't have a whole lot of I can't even say a whole lot. No, I ain't no credentials at all. So it's kind of like, okay, we trusting you to do this. Why? With that, you just got to be a little creative in how you present it. If it is something that you're venturing in for the first time, but this is where that why is going to be so critical as well. But definitely when you're starting to build your team, in particular, people who are going to manage things, it is a good practice to have people that have some experience. Like, it's one thing for you to kind of go into it without any experience. You laying the groundwork, you're laying the foundation, you getting things started. But as you grow, you want to have people who are smarter than you around. If you are the smartest person on your team, you got the wrong team. If you're the most talented person on your team, you got the wrong team. You want to make sure you got people who are smarter than you, people who have more experience than you, and people who essentially can do the job better than you. It's not your job as the business owner to know everything and to do everything. Your job is to get things started and then to help find people who can keep things going and help you to grow things. All right, I hope that makes sense. Let's see, we're running out of time, y'all. Ken said, what would you tell a person that wants to do it all because they think they're the only one that can put their best effort in the work? I would say, answer this question. Are you where you want to be financially? If you're where you want to be financially and that's working for you, then okay. But if you are not where you want to be financially in terms of how much further that business can grow, I would say do that hard thing, take a risk, take a chance, and start building up a team. You can only grow but so far by yourself. You can grow about this far by yourself, and that's it. And it's not because you don't have talent or potential, it's because your capacity. Once you are at capacity, once you reach 100% capacity, that's it for you. You can't do nothing else. And now what you've essentially done is you've put handcuffs on your business, and now your business can't grow. But when you take a chance with somebody else, even if, Let's just say that somebody else was only 50% of you. Now you've grown your business 50% more. And you wouldn't have never got to that other 50% had you not had taken a chance on that person. So I would just say you got to answer those really, really hard questions for yourself. And it really boils down to just taking a chance. There's not one successful business, like for real, like multi-million-dollar business that's running off of one person. It can't. It can't. And think about a business like Amazon that started in somebody's basement. Started in somebody's basement with one person. Think about if he just wanted to keep that just to himself and he was trying to do that all himself. Amazon employed millions of people. And you think all those people were good employees? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you got to do what you got to do and make some of those sacrifices if you want that business to grow. All right. Trying to be the jack of all trades does not make you a mess of them all, including your business. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So that's our management team, y'all. So we talk about our management team there. Personal financial statement. So this right here, especially for young people, this is just kind of where you want to, like talk about things that you have as far as like credit cards. If you have any of those, hopefully y'all don't. And also maybe like things of value that you may have. We call that your assets. And your assets and your liabilities outside of your business, that's going to give like a lender or partner a pretty good idea of how you're going to manage the business finances, because it's no secret. What you do personally is always going to trickle over to the business. And people want to know and be confident that you're already in a good habit of managing your business finances responsibly. Doesn't mean you got to have a perfect credit score. Doesn't mean that you can't have any mistakes or some things can't be out of line. All it means is that overall, you want a nice, good, responsible financial picture that says, yes, I'm going to be responsible once them coins start coming in from my business. That's really all that is. All right. Startup expenses. So this is where you are going to talk about, the money and stuff that you need in order to get started. And this one right here, it stumps a lot of people. Don't let it stop you. You can take a second, pause, and think about it, but be creative with how you do this part. Because a lot of times, especially when you're just starting out, you're young, it's only you, you're not going to be able to get a lot of money to start up. You can be creative in some things that you do, but for the most part, you might actually start out in the hole. And when you're starting out in the hole, it's even more important for you to be consistent and committed, so that way you can kind of work yourself out of that. And what I mean when I say starting in the hole, meaning that you might initially be putting out more money than what you're actually taking in. But that will start to level it out as you continue to put in more money, put in more effort, and start growing your customers and start selling more of whatever products or services that you get. There are some creative ways too, where you can actually get money from your customers before you even have a product or service. A great example of that is people who are doing like t-shirts. So like these fashion companies and stuff like that. One of the easiest things that you can do is get a mock-up of whatever design, t-shirt, sweatshirt, whatever it is that you want to do. Get a mock-up of that, put that out there on sale as a pre-sale, determine how many you need to sell in order to make whatever revenue goal you need. Let's just say our revenue goal is something small, like $500. You sell, you do your pre-sale up until you get that $500. And then once you get that $500, bam, you got enough money to actually buy what you need to produce the product. Simple. I know some of y'all thinking, well, what happens if I don't meet the $500 goal? Then you just got to go with what you have. and just use that money to fulfill those orders. But the idea is that people are paying you before they receive the product. They trusting you to deliver the product. So you got to deliver the product, but people are paying you and you're able to get money right now in your pocket, a profit right now before you've even done anything. You're able to get that profit in your pocket to get that business started. Pre-sales. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So, man, y'all, we about to get ready to run out of time. Miss Simone about to get on in a minute. We about to get ready to run out of time. All right. So my last part right here is financial plan. This one is important because it gives a quick financial picture of where your business is going. Like, and you always want to know like where your business is going. Even if you find it hard to think 12 months in advance, I encourage you at bare minimum, think 3 months in advance. 6 months is a good starting point for any small business. You really should be doing 12 months, but if 12 months is just overwhelming, do 6 months, but don't go any lower than 3 months. Because if you go lower than 3 months, then basically you just running your business on a paycheck to paycheck situation, and you don't ever want to do that. And what you want to do is you want to make projections to be able to say, okay, if I'm starting my business in January, we're going to be at X amount. And then by February, we're going to be at X amount. And you want to have this thing color coded. You want to have 3 colors. You're going to have green, you're going to have black, and you want to have red. For each month that is green, that basically means that you are either hitting your revenue target, whatever you set for yourself, or you going over. That's always good. It's nice to say, oh, I'm planning to make 500, but I actually made 1,000. That's amazing. That's green. Black is basically saying, you know what? We just made what we said, and that was it. We did not go over. We came in right even. I said I was going to get 500. I got 500, not 501, nothing. 500, it breaking even. And then red is where you are in dangerous territory, because that means that you projected to make 500, but you actually made like 400, 300, or even 499. That's still red, even though it was $1 off. You got to put it into perspective. But you always want to make sure that ideally you want to be in the green, but you never want to be nowhere other than green or black. And black is okay as far as breaking even. But again, when you have too many months where you just black, all you're doing is breaking even, you're not really able to see any profit. And then again, you get into a situation where your business is paycheck to paycheck. And we work too hard to run a business just to still be on paycheck to paycheck. No, we want a business that is profitable and that is growing. So, so that's what that should kind of look like. And again, that's going to be a living document. It's not just you do it once and then you're done with it. You're going to keep updating and changing it as we go along. Let's see. Ms. Jones, you don't have to rush. You can run over a little bit. You sure, man? I'll be trying to be respectful of people's time. But thank you. Can I get a copy of that? Can you? Yes. Anybody that wants a copy of this, just drop your email in the comments, and then I will email this to you. Black is breaking even. Yes, black is breaking even. There are also green light options, trading and investments. Same concept applies. Thank you so much for that comment, Q. All right. So we went over the business plan. We talked about the business plan. All right. What says one day? All right. Deciding whether or not to register your business or not. Y'all said I could go a few minutes over, so I'm gonna go just a few minutes over to go over this, and then the SBA website really quick, and then we're gonna have Miss Simona. Nobody got nowhere to go. Hey, y'all crazy. Nobody got nowhere to go. Y'all are crazy. Too funny. All right, where was I at? All right. So decide whether or not to register your business. All right. This is what I always say, especially for young people. It is no rush to register your business until your business is generating enough revenue for you to be able to afford the $300 every year that you got to give to Uncle Sam. Once you register that business, is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You are on the hook for that $300. You got to pay that $300 up front, and then you're going to get a bill every year after that in order to keep your business in good standing. If your business is not making money to sustain that, it just don't make sense. It just don't make sense. I get you want to protect the business, you want to protect yourself, all that. It's a better way to do that. Once you've decided that business is for you and that like you really going to stick to it, it's an option that you can do that will give you 5 years to operate as a business, meaning you can do everything a business can do. Everything that HeartSmiles can do as an official registered business, you can do as your business for none of the costs. And it is called registering a trade name. That only costs you $25. And once you pay your $25, it's no annual fee, it's no follow-up fee, it's no maintenance fee, it's no nothing. All you got to do is at the end of the 5 years, decide whether or not you want to continue to keep that trade name, pay a little $25, you're done with it. Listen, if you ain't got $25, we can go out on North and Charles and squeegee together for an hour and get that $25. That is the option that I normally recommend to young people because it frees you up from that monetary burden, but allows you to still move and operate and do business as an official registered business. All right, now, some of y'all might be saying, oh, hold up, let me see. I got some comments. Let's see what y'all really saying. What if you change your mind after you register? How do you get out of it? That's a great question. That's a great question. You can either let it expire or you can file paperwork to cancel it. Uncle Sam ain't never give you no money back though, so don't expect no refund. But if you let it run out, it'll run out. They'll send you letters saying, hey, we about to terminate your business name, da-da-da-da-da. If you want to keep it, you know, pay whatever fee. If not, don't take any action. Or you can just go right down there, fill out your little paperwork, tell them what you want to do, and then it'll be done from there. All right. Now, some people might be thinking, all right, Ms. Joni, if I get this trade name, will I still be able to, register a business officially within that 5 years? Yes, absolutely. If your business starts picking up revenue and you decide, oh, I don't need the whole 5 years to get on my feet, I'm ready to register now, you can actually register that trade name as an LLC or sole proprietor. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to explain really quick what the meanings of those are really quick so that you understand, but you can do that. And you really have a couple of options, because what you can do is you can either continue to use that name, right, and just register that name, and that be the only name you use, or there may be another name or another tagline or something like that that you want to use, and we call that a doing business as name. So you can have a registered business and a DBA, doing business as. So I'll give you an example of that with my business, with HeartSmiles, right? Most of y'all have probably never heard of the business Leading for Longevity. Well, my people who hire me for leadership consultant, that's what they know. They know Leading for Longevity. But Leading for Longevity is owned by HeartSmiles. So that gives me an opportunity every single time that I do a leadership session. It gives me an opportunity every single time to talk to people about my why, about why I'm doing this leadership session. I'm doing this leadership session because your money is going to go to HeartSmiles. And then what is HeartSmiles? I get in to talk about how I'm helping youth and, you know, how we do these type of trainings and stuff like that at no cost for young people, because we want to help young people grow, mentor and job opportunities, all that stuff. So you see how that works? I had this doing business as name, and it's owned by HeartSmiles, but all the checks go to HeartSmiles. Hope that makes sense, y'all. All right, so the entities. So you got to this point, your business is banging. You're like, all right, this little $3, I can pay it. There ain't nothing. Uncle Sam, I got you. Deciding which one to do. For most small businesses, for most small businesses are going to register as a limited liability corporation, a LLC. The reason why is because the LLC basically gives you protection against your personal assets in the event that you are getting sued. Let's just say, all right, it's probably not going to happen, but let's just say that somebody drank a red smoothie and Chaos Smoothies used some strawberries that was bad. Them strawberries was bad. She probably ain't know they was bad, but they was molded up and everything. She blended it in, and then boom, somebody is out because they had a bad smoothie. And now they want to sue her. That smoothie might only cost them $5, but their hospital bill for going to the emergency room, oh, that was a cool $1,000. And the money that they missed because they couldn't go to work for a week, that was another $2,000. So now we up to about $3,000. They suing the mess out of Chaos Smoothies. Because Chaos Smoothies has a LLC, they can only legally touch like what the business is worth. If her business, right, can afford to pay that bill, go ahead and pay it. No harm, no foul. We done, we good. Your business can afford it. But let's just say your business can't afford to pay it. Business can't make no $3,000. We serving $5 smoothies, and some of y'all be trying to get the smoothie for $1. Don't even be paying your full price. We can't pay that. But she been saving up for college. She been working outside of her business. She got a personal stash that's worth about $10,000. They should easily be able to take that $3,000 because she got $10,000, right? They should easily be able to take that, right? No, wrong. They can't touch that because when you register your business as an LLC, it protects your personal assets. So they can take Cam to court, they can fuss, they can yell, they can do all that they want to do, whatever you want to do. You ain't about to get that money off of her because she's protected by having that LLC. Now, it would be responsible of her to make some type of payment arrangement plan or whatever the case may be, depending on how the case got solved in order for her to be able to, pay whatever money she might owe. But now she won't be financially crippled on her personal side because something went wrong on the business. So that's the reason why a lot of small businesses choose that LLC, because it gives you that personal protection versus the other option that small businesses choose is the sole proprietorship. Now, the sole proprietorship is basically kind of like how we were talking about when the business is only just you and that's it, and you don't plan on the business being anything more than just you. That's it. That might just be you on your couch braiding hair or something like that. And that's just it. You already know you ain't never going past your couch. You comfortable on your couch. That's it. But with a sole proprietorship, you don't get that type of situation. You braid Shakita hair wrong, and now she start breaking out on that one side, and she lose all her edges, and she start losing money because now she can't go to work. She want to sue you for that same $3,000 that she tried to get off of that bad smoothie. You got that money in the bank. Oh, she taking all that. She taking that because now you're not protected. A sole proprietorship is basically saying your business and you, the same thing. Ain't no difference. Your business getting sued, that means you getting sued. When you are doing business as a LLC, when they ask you for your business number, you got to put your tax ID number that the IRS gives you for your business. When people ask you for your business number as a sole proprietorship, you got to put your social security number, your social, that's you. You got it? The business and you, same thing. They asking for the business ID, that's your social security number. No protection whatsoever. Partnerships, if you register as a partnership, that's basically when you are registering with somebody else, and that person is only responsible basically for how much they put up. So if you register as a partnership and that partner is only putting up, let's just say $1,000 or so, and that's like, what they want to be responsible for, then for the most part, somewhere in that partnership is going to say that that person will never be responsible for anything more than that $1,000. Don't mean that they can't make more, but if you get sued for 5,000, they only responsible for up to 1,000. So it really depends on how you do that partnership agreement, because there are a couple ways you can do that. You can do a partnership agreement where that person is a silent partner, meaning that they don't get to make any decisions, they don't get to do anything with the business or put their input in as far as how the business is ran or anything like that. All they basically do is support the business silently, maybe through money or promoting or something like that. But basically, you have full ownership, and that person has a piece of the ownership. And then with a corporation, that just means that a whole bunch of people or entities came in together to form this one corporation, right? So that would be like the equivalent of like HeartSmiles teaming up with Chaos Movies, teaming up with Now Faith, teaming up with NBCL, and maybe a couple of other businesses, and we decide to now create one conglomerate business, like one business that each of us has a little bit of ownership in. That would be a corporation. All right, so I hope that that makes sense, y'all. Let's see these guys. Oh, y'all laughing. Let's see. So the LLC separates your business, and while you're the sole proprietorship combines both. Yes, yes. LLC separates you from your business. You get that protection. If something goes wrong with your business, it won't necessarily impact you personally. Yes, whereas those sole proprietorship, yep, the business is you. What happens in the business happens to you. Absolutely. Yep. Putting your social security number out there is never a good idea. So here's the thing with that, y'all, just so we're not confused. For the purpose of this conversation, you got to put your social security number out there. You get a contract. Let's say you get a contract for $10,000, right? You get a contract for $10,000 and you got to send your paperwork over. You got to put your social security number on there because you are your business. If you're registered as a sole proprietorship, you have to. They won't have another way to account for this $10,000 that they're paying you if you don't put your social security number out there. Like, you have to. But in business, your social security number is equivalent to a business ID. So again, it just really depends on how you register your business. Now, you don't want just a random person. You're not giving your social security number to a random person. The same way you wouldn't give your business ID number to a random person. But people who you're doing business with, and those people got to pay you, you got to put up their social security number. Another example of that, just so it's extra super clear, is people who are on the YAB at Hopkins, the Center of Adolescent Health. If you notice, the W-9 form, that tax paper that you had to fill out, you had to put your social security number on there because you were acting as your own business. And you know how we had you check sole proprietor? That's because it is getting recorded that you as a business, as an individual business, are getting paid that money for participating. So I hope that that makes sense from a business perspective. All right, cool. So we are way past our time. So sorry. The last thing I wanted to show y'all was the SBA. Oh, and here's where you can do the things we talked about as far as registering your businesses. This is at egov.maryland.gov. This is where, this is where you can register. You can do that trade name that I talked about. You see that down here for $25. Or when your business is popping and you can afford that $300, you can register right here. But you can do all this stuff right here online. You would just create your account. And also on this site, you can look and see whether or not the name that you want to use is already taken or not, which is a good thing. So we good. Look, man, I ain't trying to hold y'all up from doing nothing. I know y'all got a lot of nothing to do. And this right here, SBA.gov, when you are starting out you want this website to be your best friend. They got the Corona stuff on here now, but normally this site is popping with a whole bunch of resources just for small businesses. And resources such as like classes and stuff that you can take for free. You can have access to like a business coach that is going to work with you on managing your business, doing that business plan if you need help doing that, growing your business. Like that person will be assigned to you, and you'll have scheduled time to meet with that person in person, as well as scheduled time to meet with that person via like conference calls or on phones. Like they have a lot of different things for small businesses. You guys might not necessarily need like the business loans or the credits or anything like that, but just getting yourself familiar with how that works, so that way as your business grows, it might make sense for you to get $1 million line of credit for your business. Like that might just make sense depending on what it is that you want to do and how you're growing. And also a really cool thing about this site is that it gives you access and updates about like government contracts. So depending on the type of business that you have, when you want to do business with the government, you can bid on certain contracts, and they put contracts and stuff out all the time. And the contract will be something crazy, like we paying $75,000 or we paying $2 million for whatever kind of service. They'll lay that service out. And if your business is a business that can fulfill that service, you can put in to say that you want to do that work. And they help you with securing those types of projects. And you get extra help and extra consideration when you are a minority business, when you are a youth-owned business, and when you are a business that's like operating out of a city like Baltimore. Like all that stuff is extra that they help you with. So yeah, this is some good stuff right here. All right. How fast do they approve it? So it happens right away. Actually, it's instant. And if you do it online, if you choose to get your documents emailed to you, it'll be emailed to you like within minutes after you pay for everything. If you choose to have it mailed to you, just like regular snail mail, it'll probably take like a week or so to come, but it's instant. And the reason why it's instant is because if that name is already taken, it won't even let you buy it. Like it won't even let you approve it if that name is already taken. And then after you do that part, you go to the IRS website, and that's instant too. Put in your name and request an EIN number, which is an employee identification number, and they give that to you, and that's the number that you want to be using on like your contracts and when you're doing business with people and stuff like that. All right, so let me stop sharing my screen. Questions. Oh, I ain't got time for no questions. It's way past my time. I'm about to get ready to go. Y'all got me on here way past my time. Yeah, gotta get y'all back to doing a whole lot of nothing. Where is Miss Simone, man? Let's see if Miss Simone is ready for us. But no, for real, if y'all got any questions, let me know if y'all got any questions. Let me see. And Miss Simone, I know where you're at. I'm getting Miss Simone on here, y'all. I'm telling her I'm so sorry that we went over, man. I'm so sorry, Miss Simone.
Hello.
Hey.
That was good, Michelle. Stop trying to get rid of us. We're trying to get these jewels, okay? We know we can't afford you, but then
I know. The bill is past due. Bill is delinquent.
We're negative, okay?
I ain't gonna forget to send the email. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start working on it now. Make sure I got your email in the comments. I'm about to send it.
Yeah, you have my put that in because I'm like I'm gonna start a business. I am.
You should. Don't
I'm
nobody have no reason not to. No matter where you are in life or what's going on, you don't have no reason not to.
I was downstairs cooking and watching and doing both, and even my mom was like, "Yes, Miss Joni, yes. Oh
For
my."
real, hey ma.
She's like, the fact that y'all are getting this so early, she's like, it is so true. Start a business. Start a business.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. Yeah. Ken said we over $500. Y'all way past the $500 mark. And I told you that's on my low end. Like, yo,
that's a discount, okay?
yeah, man.
Oh,
Especially during Rona. Bruh, run me my coins. Let me see. All right. Is it any strings attached to the EIN number? That's a great question, Kim. A lot of people get scared anytime you say anything IRS, they automatically get scared. The answer to that is no. It's no strings attached. If anything, you need that EIN number because when you start getting contracts with people, when you're doing official business, they need that EIN number because what they have to do is they have to report on their side who they paid, when they paid, and all that type of stuff like that. So it's nothing bad. It's nothing bad. It's just basically identifying you as its own business entity. The same way your social security number identifies you as your own individual person, your EIN identifies your business as its own individual business. Great question. Great question.
in our business owners. Come on, y'all. We have
Man, right?
enough money to hire y'all time.
Yeah, man. If y'all catching these jewels early now, y'all gonna be multi-billionaires by the time y'all get my age. Man, that's the only thing I regret is like learning so late, like not really catching on. Like, imagine if I would have had this knowledge earlier. Y'all would not know me.
I was gonna say, I'm like, wait.
Y'all would not know me. Miss Joni who? Miss Joni what? No, Miss Joni on her own island.
You would have been practicing your who with us.
Absolutely. But you know what though? But that ties into my why. And that's why I say that all the time. Like, yo, God knew what he was doing, even though I'm sad that Freddie Gray died and that situation happened the way that it happened. If that situation would have never happened, I would never be thinking about youth, community, nothing. I will only be thinking about myself. And me with that kind of money, because I thought I was rich with my job. I'm
Yeah.
living it up and buying houses, cars, traveling the country. Imagine me with that type of money with still that type of mindset, only thinking about myself and my family. We would be good, but my 750 would be right outside.
Yeah.
My helicopter ride would be waiting for me at Andrews Air Force Base, like stuff like that. So Freddie Gray had to happen in order for me to be wanting to use that type of money to pour into young people. So
Yeah. Because it's
yeah.
impactful. We're changing generations. Changing,
Man, right?
and you can't
Changing
put a
them.
price on that.
Can't put a price on that. Yo said we used to stay at Bloomberg at the 8, but this ain't Bloomberg. It's time to go.
No, seriously, they
I'm
don't work.
about to call y'all virtual Ubers.
Miss, we gotta go. We have to go right. Virtual
I'm
Uber.
calling y'all virtual lives. Cam
In
got me because she was doing it for me on the laptop. Give me your addresses. I'm about to send y'all Ubers.
Please stop.
Get them off my live.
We need to go immediately.
They crazy. Oh,
All right. So should I
y'all ready for this special announcement
can we
from Miss Simone?
get so hyped, Miss Joni? I am like twisted. I'm not.
Yeah, no.
I
Well, let
just
me
don't want to. It's not about money. Please, I don't want to break anybody's heart. I don't have any money for you yet. Okay.
hey yo.
I still can help you with the job, but that's I don't want to, I want to manage expectations. But it is a special announcement. It is a special announcement. It's something that is so exciting and bittersweet for me. And I have to keep remembering, like Miss Joni says, it's not anything bad. I'm like telling you guys how to learn and grow, and I'm doing the same thing. So let me get to the point. So in August, I'll be moving to DC because I got accepted into a PhD program at George Washington University School of Public Health. Whew. So I'm really, really excited. And I figured, what is the best way to show y'all? Because we keep talking about vision boards and manifesting. So I wanted to show you guys. So sorry. Oh my God. My vision board. I don't know if you can see this.
Yes.
I made this. It says introducing Simone Sawyer, MSPH, which is my Master's of Science in Public Health, and PhD. And so this has been something that I have been trying to manifest for a while now. And so when it happened, I was really, 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 really excited, but also really sad because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've been building up for this moment. I'm not even really worried. It's always when you're not even worried about something that
Mm-hmm.
happens. And so I'll be doing work in DC with this professor who focuses on healthcare in schools with youth. And the best part is like we work on with legislators, on Capitol Hill in DC, different researchers, community organizations like HeartSmiles to make sure that schools are really what they need to be for youth, but it's just going to be in DC. So that'll be in August. And I just want to let y'all know, like, I am still here. I'm just going to
Yeah.
be closer to the DC side, but any chance I get to be up here, I will be here. I am only a phone call away. And anytime they say, do you need youth? You know, I'm calling HeartSmiles.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah.
So that's the announcement. I'm still twisted about it because I have to keep. I love being around y'all all the time, and y'all already cut me up if I miss a Thursday. So I felt really just so sad because I'm just so used to being here. Y'all have grown me so much as a person. Like it goes both ways. Like I'm up here telling you guys things I've learned, but you pour into me just as much. So I
Yeah.
wanted y'all to know now, and we have some time until August and all this Rona stuff. Um, and just like if I can do it, you can do it too. So
Yeah.
okay.
Absolutely. And I think that's probably the most important thing. Like you showing an example right now, like you not leaving, you leveling up. And that's what we expect them to do. Because if y'all still sitting here in the same seats a year from now, I ain't with that.
Gotta go.
I ain't with that. I'm not, you gotta be growing. You gotta be growing. The only thing that I will caution you with though is that make sure that you're growing for the right reasons and that you never lose sight of your why and the reason why and how you got what you got. Because there's so many people that take advantage of situations like this. And I'll just be real with y'all. Y'all already know it's people who done took what we did and did something totally dumb and stupid with it, used it to hurt people. No, you're supposed to use it to help people. And as long as you're doing that and you helping more people and you leveling up and you growing, that's what you're supposed to do. And then bring the new people that need the foundational stuff in. Tell a friend to tell a friend, bring other people in because I need y'all to be moving up the ladder so that you can help teach and nurture and mentor other people.
Absolutely. Because, yeah, I didn't even know what a PhD was until I got to college. I thought the only doctor you could be was a medical doctor. And it wasn't until I got exposed and someone told me and mentored me that I was like, I can do this. I can be a professor. I can create programs. I can do research.
You already doing it.
I was going to say, already doing it. So I'm like, seriously, if you want to come, see, this is just a different physical location, but I am still here in spirit and call me. We will talk. We will take over. You want to be a professor? You want to do research? You want to see what programs are like in DC? Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, we there. We already there, y'all. Set it up. Make sure my kids got their hotel, their
So
transportation,
we
their
got,
meals,
yeah.
and their compensation.
Okay. Period.
And I got you. Yeah.
We are too expensive. You can't have our time for free.
Yeah, exactly. They was already asking me who do we want to send for the Bloomberg internships in New York. And with that, you get an apartment, you get your transportation taken care of, yeah, and you get your compensation and you get to work at the headquarters. So I'm like, yo, let me see how many spots I got first before I really put that out, because I might not can't post that. I might just have to go to a couple people on that. But that's like a whole like situation. I'm like, man, what a
No,
blessing.
and that net starting that, you put that on your resume, you get that experience, you network with those people. The sky's
Right?
the limit.
Sky is the limit. Man, they showing you mad love, Miss Simone. Oh, Cam said, I got somebody in here today, y'all. His name is Lamar. We leveling up. Yeah, level up, Lamar.
Go
Hey,
ahead.
Lamar, welcome to the crew, man. Hopefully you stick around. Hopefully you learn something. And thank you, Cam. Yo, that's all you can do is tell people, yo. The people that want it, gonna get it and be here for it. The people that don't, hey, ain't really too much we can do about that. But yeah, thank you, Cam. That's what's up, man. That's how you do it. Tell somebody to
Okay.
tell somebody.
Yes, that's how we
Yo, I'm
spread it.
trying to have I'm trying to have 100 youth entrepreneurs like right there, all in one line, yo.
I can't wait. We
For
gotta take
real,
it to a hill. Okay.
right,
In Congress, in the Senate, like, look,
right,
these
everywhere, everywhere. Who we know in DC? Who we got over in California? And
okay.
said, I want my 500 an hour. You can get it. That ain't really. That is so easy to obtain. You will be surprised on how easy it is. It just depends on your service. It depends on your service. So, I mean, you got a lot to offer, Cam. So I feel like you're going to be there before you know it. I would absolutely make that a 2021 goal. You're going to be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All
Yeah.
right.
Take
Let
the
me
rest
get
of
this.
2020, figure it out.
Yeah.
2021,
Let's
bang.
go.
Hit them in the head, $500. Run
Don't
me my
stutter,
money.
nothing. Just five.
No, don't stutter or nothing. But if you do the things that we talked about right, they're going to already be expecting it. And if
Yeah,
anything, they're going to feel like that's a deal.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Man. All
Well,
right.
let me
I'm
give
done
that.
with y'all, y'all. I'm
Let y'all.
done.
I know. Joni,
We
stop.
way past. I'm calling Ubers. Send me y'all addresses. I'm calling Ubers. We out here.
I was gonna say. This is great, Miss Joni. Thank you for everything. Love y'all.
Thank you, Miss Simone. All right, y'all. So Miss Simone ain't leaving. She leveling up. Y'all heard it here first, man. So I'm proud of her. She's still part of the family. We want to stay connected with her like nothing ever happened. Cam, you absolutely right. Anytime Hopkins or Bloomberg is mentioned, that's great. Absolutely. They are some of the best partners ever. Like they've just been tremendous in terms of just helping us level up and helping us grow and helping us to provide opportunities to young people that could literally be life changing, like for real. With some of the people that you meet in and some of the situations that you getting yourself into, like those are situations that are going to carry weight across the board. Like how many young people can say that they be on conference calls with the mayor's office. Like you talk to the CEO of city schools, like that is not a small thing. And as we start putting together some of these other things, some of these other projects, my success session people, y'all going to be the people I'm hitting up first, because just you being here shows your commitment to success. And I appreciate that. So with that being said, we had a great session tonight. I emailed the business plan to you, Mo. If anybody else wants it, just hit me up, let me know, and I'll send it to you. But I'll see y'all next Thursday, 6 o'clock for Thriving Thursdays. But for my success session, people, I'll see y'all tomorrow at 10 o'clock. All right. Good night, y'all. Get back to doing nothing.